What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. I'm KT, your neighborhood friendly personal trainer. And in today's video, we're going to get into some body education and talk about your gut health. Now, what is your gut? Well, that is your gastrointestinal tract, and that consists of your stomach, colon, your large and small intestines. But within that, we have this gut microbiota, which I'm just going to abbreviate as GM going forward. So we have our GM that is trillions of microorganisms living in our gut that serve a lot of functions for us, like regulating our toxins, regulating our immune system, producing things like vitamins, communicating with our other vital organs like our liver and our brain, and really harping on the brain, that brain and gut connection. So back in the day when our ancestors deemed these terms like, oh, that doesn't sit right with my stomach, or like something in my gut doesn't feel right, that's not just some saying we pull out of nowhere. It's because there is a correlation between your brain and your gut. If you ever notice, if you're feeling anxious, your stomach starts to feel loose, and maybe like you're either getting constipated or you're having like, diarrhea, like you're just having all these nerves and butterflies in your stomach from this anxiety you're feeling. That connection is very big. So when you can really commit to improving your gut health, it could help. I'm not even gonna say could, it will help with improving your mental fogginess and helping with your mental health. And on the reverse side, if you can get your mental health under control, you might notice that your gut health starts to get better as well. So those things like constipation, IBS, bloating, extreme gas, and all of these gut problems that we all experience can be under control if we can regulate our gut health. So without getting too sciencey on you on this video, I'm going to share with you some habits that we can start to implement in our lives to improve our gut health, which will in turn improve our quality of life as a whole. No one likes feeling bloated, uncomfortable, congested, constipated. Like, you don't want those feelings, right? So the aim of this video is to make life a little easier for you and your gut. Let's get into it. Okay, first up, so as I mentioned, we have a trillion of GM in our stomach. However, first thing that we can do to help is to avoid taking these antibiotics. Now, obviously, if something is happening to you where you're being prescribed an antibiotic, you got to take that, right? Because you got to fix whatever is going on. But just know that that is going to kill some of that, some of the GM and the bacteria that we have in our stomach that is necessary. So in order to combat that, we need to take a probiotic. So you can get probiotics naturally in fermented food, things like sauerkraut, kimchi, yogurt. These things naturally are a probiotic. But of course, in modern medicine, we also have capsules and things that can be prescribed to you to put probiotics back into your system. So again, the probiotic is literally a living organism that you are putting in your body that's going to go into your gut and live there. So of course, there's billions of probiotics on shelves, and not all of them are what you need. You might need a probiotic to, again, combat that antibiotic you took. You might need a probiotic to help with IBS. You might need a probiotic for something else. So it's important to talk to your doctor or a registered dietitian on what probiotics you need for your body. Don't be taking them all willy-nilly. Second up with the probiotic is prebiotic. And I do have a video, I believe, talking about the differences between these two, but we're going to go over them again here. So a prebiotic is what feeds your probiotic. So again, we have a trillion of them in our body, and they don't all eat the same thing. So prebiotics are things like fruits, some vegetables, different types of nuts, different types of seeds, different types of grains. Not all of those things are prebiotics, but there's certain foods in those categories that are specifically also a prebiotic. So definitely check out a list on those. But you want to be eating these things in your diet. Like I said, they don't all eat the same thing. So which brings me to my third tip is diversify your diet. It's cool if you love broccoli, you want to eat broccoli every single day, but maybe there's some of your GM wants some cauliflower, or wants some asparagus, or wants some spinach, because they don't really eat broccoli, they eat something else. So the more you can diversify and expand your palate and eat different types of fruits, different types of vegetables, different types of grains, different types of nuts, different types of even herbs and spices, experiment, have fun with it, put more things into your diet that's going to help your gut flourish. My fourth tip is fiber, and water. You want to boost those simultaneously in your diet. Now, when you go from eating very little fiber to eating a bunch of fiber, you're going to get bloated because that was a lot for your body. So you do want to slowly increase the amount of fiber that you're eating, but you do want to include that in your diet. That is one of the number one things that your gut loves to eat is fiber. And you want to put that water with it just so that we can extract that and have more healthy bowel movements with the increase of that fiber. So those two together are going to be a dynamic duo for your gut health. It's going to help bulking up that stool. It's going to help you feel fuller for longer. Make a whole other video on all the benefits of fiber, but you do want to include this in your diet. Number 5, eat slowly. I know it's so hard to do, just putting that fork down sometimes, but the faster you eat, the more air we get into our body, the more bloated we get, the less time we're giving our bodies to process that food and even send the signals up to our brains that we are done eating. So again, that gut to brain connection, if you are disrupting that by eating too quickly before the messages can even get set up, in the long run, this is just going to cause more issues for you. You're going to be getting bloated faster because you ate so quickly and your stomach expands versus if you were able to eat that a little slower, the signals, the hormone regulations, and all these things would be in order, and then you wouldn't have to combat those feelings. Now, don't get me wrong, bloating is a normal phenomenon, but if you're experiencing severe extreme bloating on a day-to-day basis every single day, that's not going to be good. That's a sign that something is wrong there. My next tip is to be mindful of this Western diet. So post the Industrial Revolution, I understand we had wars going on. We had a lot of things where we needed, people are working more, no one's in the home, so we need fast, convenient food. And like, that's all fine and dandy. And in some instances, we're still in that same space today. But it's important to be able to balance that with actually whole natural food. So when you're constantly getting all your food from, fast food places, or you're eating those pastries, packaged foods, processed foods, those foods are high in salt and sugar and saturated fat, and our gut can't do much with that. In fact, it makes it uncomfortable. You usually get that bloating and discomfort and pain from eating those kind of foods consistently. So I'm not saying don't eat them at all, because of course, they're delicious, they're fun, they're convenient, like they're there for a reason, they have their purpose, but you definitely want to be able to balance out the two. Eat more of those whole foods that you can make on your own, that you can buy at the store, and eat less of those processed items. And I'm going to go ahead and swing that into my next tip of alcohol as well. So yeah, of course, having a glass of some kind of alcohol drink a day, or not drinking for a while and then, going out on a weekend and like maybe throwing 3 or 4 back, okay, like sure. But you still want to have a good balance between your alcohol consumption, because alcohol is not great for our gut health either, when it's in excess. So it's all about having that balance, to being able to understand how your gut works, how your body feels, and again, that brain. Again, I can make a whole video about how alcohol affects our prefrontal cortex and all these things. So like, when you're getting messed up here, again, it's going to get messed up here. So they are in correlation, but that's a video for another day. In this video, I just want to tell you to limit and be responsible with your alcohol consumption. Second to last tip is moving your body. So this is going to help, one, with digestion and mobility. So when you're moving your body around, we have blood circulating, which is very helpful for digestion. So being able to go on walks or do yoga or exercise, or go on little jogs, anything to get that heart rate elevated and to get blood flowing is going to help your digestive system and help your gut health flourish. On top of that, it's going to help you reduce stress. I can make a whole video about this topic as well, on the benefits and correlation between exercise and stress management. But when you can reduce your stress levels, you're also reducing the gut issue. So that's one way we can reduce stress. And then also just on a mental level, like if there's anything in your space that's causing you daily stress, if there's something at work that's causing you daily stress, or something at home that's causing you daily stress, whatever, do your best to try to eliminate those things from your life, or at least reduce the time that you spend with it, interact with it, so that you're not on that high alert all the time, again, causing that discomfort in your stomach. You'd be surprised how many people in the world think they have IBS or are allergic to some kind of food or have some food intolerance, when in reality it's really just stress. Like, they are just stressed so much that it's causing a disruption in all of this. And imagine being even more stressed because you do suspect that because of that feeling you've been having, you have IBS or some intolerance, and you cut out all of your favorite foods to try to combat that, when all you really need to do is reduce your stress. So you feeling more stressed because there's things you want to eat that you can't eat, so you cut them out when that wasn't even the root problem. So really being able to manage your stress level is going to do a lot more for you. My last tip is going to be, if you do suspect that you have some kind of food allergy or food intolerance, go ahead and cut it out. But go ahead and cut it out. Spend some time allowing your gut to come back to neutral, and then slowly reintroduce that. That can look like, for example, if you suspect that you're lactose intolerant, so you stop consuming any kind of cow products for 4 to 6 weeks. On that 7th week, you reintroduce it by drinking a quarter cup of milk, or adding a quarter cup of milk to something, and seeing how your stomach does that, because you'll also be surprised to know that intolerances vary. So just because something is affecting you, it might not be that item, it might be the amount of that item. So you might be able to tolerate a half a cup of dairy a day, but you might not be able to tolerate 3/4 cups of dairy products a day, if that makes sense. So figuring out where your tolerance levels are can help you be able to enjoy the things that you love without completely cutting them out, just having them in the quantities that don't mess up your stomach. So by doing this test, you can see like, oh, well, I drank 1/4 cup of milk, 24 hours passed, I felt fine. So maybe for a couple weeks you stick to that tolerance level, and then on the 3rd or 4th week, now you up it up again. And then you notice when you drink 3/4 cups of milk, now all of a sudden you're bloated, you're gassy, everything hurts. So now you know you can tolerate a half a cup of dairy products, but you can't tolerate anything more than that. That's going to help you be able to enjoy dairy when you want to, just keeping it low. This is not even a tip, just a bonus piece of information, but all of our GMs are different. So you and a friend are going to have different things. Your guts are going to react to different things differently. Your gut is going to like different types of food. Just know it's no one size all approach. You have to get to know your body. And also a cool, interesting thing is the more time you spend with someone, the more your gut health starts to mimic or be like each other. That's because you're being exposed to the same type of bacteria. So that most applies to people that you live with, right? So like you're living in the same environment, you got the same kind of bacteria in your home, you're eating the same kind of foods, those foods have the same kind of bacteria, so over time, your guts are going to be very similar. So be careful on who you decide to share a living space with, because if your gut health is good and you're bringing someone in whose gut health is bad, it might bring your gut health down a little bit as it brings their gut health up a little bit. So a little fun fact there. That's all I have for this video. Probably going to talk about this in my next blog post. So please be sure that you subscribe to that. Link is in the description box on my website. You just got to put your email in and hit that subscribe button. A newsletter is also going to come out today, so be sure that you subscribe to that as well. Thank you for watching this video and being a part of my tiny community that is growing. So I love that. If you did like this video, you know what to do. Give me that thumbs up, and I'll catch you in my next one. As always, don't forget to crush it.